Hey guys, welcome to Apex Reviews. Today I'm excited to bring you a 2019 Dodge Durango RT all-wheel drive. Now the Durango is positioned in a rather unique segment within FCA's portfolio as they continue to work to move the Dodge brand towards their performance division. Now they've done so with great examples such as the Scat Pack, the Hellcat, and the Demon, and the Durango was always a third row, kind of a big SUV. So those aren't really characteristic or a platform that leans towards the characteristics people are perceiving the Dodge brand to have, which are, generally good looks, good performance, and driving excitement. So FCA had to work to move this, rather big vehicle towards something that fits those characteristics. So an example such as this with the RT and even the latest, the SRT, which offers the 6.4 liter Hemi, I think they've done a great job. So stay tuned. We'll take a look at this Durango and go all through it here inside and out. Make sure you guys are making a good, well-informed decision in your buying as you go to the dealership there and really get your hands on this Durango yourselves. So stay tuned. Now before I get started, I'd like to thank Feeney Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram of Midland, Michigan for providing this Durango to review today. We've bought quite a few cars from them through the years, and they've always been great to work with, offer good pricing, and just a general good experience. So if you guys are in the market, feel free to give them a shout. I personally work with Mike Finelli, but everyone there will be happy to help you out and see if they can make a deal for you. So looking at the back of the Durango here, you can see not too much has changed. They still have that racetrack lighting here in the back, and that gives you that full wraparound light that we can take a look at now. So you can see you get a real nice, uninterrupted LED strip here going across the entire back end of the vehicle. And I do like that it's just, solid. It almost looks like a light pipe, and that you don't see the individual LEDs. Some of the Chargers in the past had, you can almost see the individual bulbs inside, or the LED diodes, and it just looked off to me. It didn't look as clean as it could have been, and they've really done a great job here with the Chargers and this Durango. And the Darts have the same, racetrack lighting, and it really is a good signature for the brand, and just generally looks great at night, and obviously should, give you good visibility for people behind you at night and for braking and things such as that. So just overall, good on Dodge's behalf. You do have the new logo here for the past couple years. This is the indication of all-wheel drive. You get the Dodge hashes with the 4 in there indicating all-wheel drive. Now this is the black top package, so you do have black emblems, basically a lot of items are blacked out essentially, giving you that nice look here. And with the white, I think it just looks awesome because it really gives you kind of that stormtrooper effect, and it's just really nice to look at. Now I did have a white Grand Cherokee high altitude with the same color scheme with the white and black, and just keep in mind black wheels are really hard to keep clean, so as you go out there and you're looking at the black top package, just kind of keep that in the back of your head there. They do have a couple other colors, so you can go with a brass monkey, and there's also like a gunmetal wheel that goes on these RTs, so just keep that in mind as you're out there shopping. Now this does have the trailer tow package, and for 19 they did add a trailer brake controller inside, so we'll take a look at that in just a bit. Now this back cover here is just hiding that hitch. It's just considered a beauty cover, and you do have dual exhaust, and it really sounds nice paired with that Hemi. So let's take a look and see how that sounds. Now continuing on to this side of the vehicle, you'll see everything looks about the same as the other side obviously, but you do have a fuel filler on this side. That is power release, so you don't have to worry about anyone screwing with your gas tank there. And I do believe that is actually a capless fill, so you don't have to actually pull the gas cap off, hanging on the little hanger there. Please do that. Don't let it hang on your paint, guys. Come on. These vehicles are pretty expensive. Use the little lever that's on the inside of the door there and just hang it on there if you do not have a capless fill. A little bit of a close-up on the wheels here. Go along the side. Nice body lines overall. You get a nice indentation here on the inside of the vehicle. Nice look. Obviously, it would look kind of odd if it was just one continuous door panel. And then you do have your belt line comes through here. It really tapers off. You don't have one as you come through. In the back door handle, it comes back up and flows through the taillights. So nice line there. Typically you do have a line going all the way across the vehicle, but it does stop kind of in the driver's door area here. Coming to the front, you can see the all new front end here. You get the performance front end. This really matches the SRT. So you can see you've got a lot of air intake going on here. You do have functional hood vents When I turn the vehicle off and put my hand here, and even so now I can feel heat coming out of here. So this is functional. And I checked here, and this does lead, there's a white indicator or a white portion of the hood, but it does drop down to feed the air into the engine. And then you obviously have another functional extractor here. Can't see in the video, but in person, you can look right down into the engine bay there. Now, obviously, you're probably wondering about rain. I'm sure they've already thought about that and making sure it's directed away from any components that, you know, could be impacted by that water. Looking at the headlamps, you do have Dodge right there within the housing, HID bulbs, and then a halogen appears turn signal here. And then you do have your LED rings here that go around the outside. And you also have LED fog lamps. You can see across the front, you do have park sensors, and it does come around all the way to this corner. So sometimes they stop here and you kind of lose a little bit of coverage on this side, but it is wrapping around the whole front of the car. And you know, this is a pretty big SUV. So as you're parking in the garage, you're probably taking up a good portion of it. And it's good that they've got it going all the way around there. You can see with the black top there, you do have the black mirror caps, black window trim, black, pretty much everything. There's not a lick of chrome on the exterior of this Durango. And I think really the market's moving towards that, or even the person that's really buying this Durango, right? So, you know, this is probably going towards that parent that just wants that horsepower they had when they were younger, and they can't really get it now very easily, especially in a middle class salary. So yeah, you can get high horsepower SUVs and things like that through Mercedes-Benz and BMW, but to be quite honest, not everybody has the money to buy those vehicles. So how do you get a third row V8 with a 5.7? You know, well, here it is. This is your Durango. So this is really filling that gap of that kind of historic, not even historic, that typical American, I guess, that just still wants that horsepower, the good looks, and everything to go along with it. And I think the Durango really fills in that gap. They've been producing this generation here with this refresh since 14. I think it traces back all the way to 11 though. So they've really worked out all the bugs in it. I've been driving this one here for just a bit, and I'll say that it's real quiet, real smooth. And you know, we'll take a look at it in the interior review, but I think they've done their job and really did a great job, done their due diligence in producing this, you know, excellent product. All right, you do have your power hatch there. You bring it down with this button right here. There is not one on the gate itself. You do have the smallest little cover ever for a privacy. So interesting. Never seen one that small before. You have a little storage cubby right here. You have fold down rear seats, and then we have some other parts and pieces to the inside of the car. So in the drive time review, you might hear these in the back. Just kind of expect that. And you do have some storage underneath the back here, and that's really generous. I'm really happy to see that. You know, in the wintertime, you can put some jumper cables to help your fellow motorists, or, you know, kids soccer ball, or, you know, whatever you want to put down there, and it should do just fine. Your jack is underneath that plastic cover, and I'm presuming there's a subwoofer underneath this box for the Alpine radio. You can see here, I just lift this up, push down, and that pushes down your third row. And one other thing I did notice that I really liked when I was in the third row getting out earlier is, as the passenger, there's just a red cord that you can pull. It pushes that forward, you pull it again, and it lifts the seat up to get out this way. So if you're a bigger individual or an adult and you can't get through here, you can actually get yourself out as the third row passenger without feeling like you're a victim of whoever's getting out of this seat, and if they'll let you out. So I do like that red cord. It's very nice to see. It does both. You know, it's not just lifting the seat up, it does fold it down. Now, as far as critiques on the outside, the only thing that I've always kind of had as an issue with the Durango is, under some circumstances, I feel that this corner can look a little bit bloated. You know, I don't really see that when there's a lot of people in the cars that they sag. They do have load leveling rear suspension, but in some cases it does just have a bit of a long effect, especially right in this view. It's just something with the size. You can't mask it. Some of the colors do better. White's obviously a pretty flat color to be working with here, and this isn't truly called bright white. This is called white knuckle, but to me it's bright white, but you know, to each their own. That's really my only critique on the exterior. I love the rear end. I love the wheels on these. I love the front end. I mean, overall, it's a great car here. It's just that one corner. But, you know, again, just an opinion. Everyone has one, so take it for what you will. All right, let's continue on to the inside before my hands fall off here. It's pretty cold here in Michigan, and you're gonna start seeing the camera shake if I stay out here too much longer. All right, guys. Now, sitting inside the Durango here, you can see it's a really nice place to be. You get nice seating surfaces, generous legroom on behalf of all passengers, good headroom. I'm 5'9", and I have probably another 4, maybe 5 inches above my head. And overall, just nice layout ergonomically. You've got nice reach to the infotainment system, to your climate control, and to your gear shifter, cup holders. This is your low range control. But overall, just, you know, I can easily reach what I need sitting here on this side, easily grabbing my window switches and controls. That's all, you know, it's easy to get to. So overall, on ergonomics wise, just great job. Everything's where it needs to be and is laid out nicely. As far as materials go now, you do have somewhat padded panels here. This is not, it is soft touch, but as you can see, as I push, there's not, you know, there's a definite coating on this. It's just not, it's not hard plastic, but it's not far from it, I guess I should say. Now this is leather wrapped, so nice to see here. Nice feel to it, just great on this part. You get a nice, almost like a full carbon fiber look here. I'm not exactly sure what they call it, but it's got a generally nice look to it. It really aligns with the, you know, the intentions of the vehicle. These are your power window controls. If you've had an FCA vehicle over the past, literally since 2011, it's pretty much had the same control. I had a 2011 Grand Cherokee a while back, and it had the same exact controls here. So this will probably change pretty soon through the years. It works fine. I mean, you do have power automatic front windows. The rears are manual, lockout for your kids, things like that, but it's been around a while. Here you can see your power release for your fuel, automatic headlamps, push for fog, dash brightness controls for your cluster, as well as kicking on the interior lamps. And you can see here, these surrounds are almost like a satin vapor is what I'm going to call them. They're not chrome. It is definitely not chrome. It's a I think it's like a trivalent chrome perhaps, you know, so it looks really, really nice. And it's wrapped here around the infotainment system, around the rest of the vents and door handles, and I think it really looks sharp. Gosh, I love that color. So great job, guys. I mean, kudos to you. I mean, that looks nice, you know, and it doesn't really attract too many fingerprints. It does pretty good, so it's better than like piano black, you know. It's terrible. Looking at the cluster, you can see you still have that nice big center screen. You get your vehicle information, vehicle info, trans temp. You know, I won't read them to you since we can all read here. You got your fuel economy, trailer tow, and then here's your trailer brake controller, right? Now this will pop up even if you're on your speedometer, but just while we're here, we'll take a look at it. And you can see right here is where they've integrated that trailer brake controller. So you can manually control here, or as I push this left and right, you can see I can change the gain on the trailer. So nice integration. I was curious to see where they'd actually put this in. I didn't know if they tried to put it down here somewhere, but here it works fine. Nice location, and I'm really happy they did this. You know, this all-wheel drive model can tow 7,200 pounds, rear-wheel drive 7,400 pounds, and the SRT can tow a whopping 8,400 pounds. So, you know, why we didn't have a trailer brake controller through the years is kind of, I don't even know what to consider. I mean, it's something that we should have had, so kind of mind-blowing in that behalf. But you know, we're here. It's 2019, and if you've got an older model, you can still add one. I had a Prodigy 9500 on mine, and it worked fine. But I'm glad to see it as OEM equipment now. Bluetooth, messages, screen setup, back to speedometer. You get nice font on your tack here, as well as your coolant temp and your fuel gauge. So again, goes along with the intentions of this vehicle. I expect the SXT and the GT, you know, maybe not the GT, but at least the SXT probably has a different font on there, just since this is a pretty sporty package here with the Hemi. Looking at the center screen, you can see the resolution is just awesome. That has to be a full 1080p screen without a doubt. There are some fingerprints on there, so pardon me on that portion. You can see you've got climate functions here. You've got Sirius XM radio. I can't turn that up for copyright purposes, but I can go through here and show you exactly how the radio sounds. And I have to say, this does sound very good. You know, I'll take a look at the window sticker here and I'll let you know exactly what this falls in as, since I'm not exactly sure what the radio is. All right, this is a Alpine 9-speaker radio. So it is a Alpine radio, standard in the RT. That was not optional equipment. And I did see that this is actually considered a tungsten color interior accent, and it wasn't optional actually. So just something to consider there as you're looking for this. If you do like this color, just make sure you're checking the right box. Your media controls, climate, apps, huge plethora of apps in here. This does have Google, Android Auto, as well as Apple CarPlay. So if you guys want to use that, great systems. If not, you do have navigation here as well. Easy to get to. I like the way they line everything out. You can easily, you know, click go to work, go home. Obviously, the two main places you're going, which we could leave work out, but right, so I got to pay the bills. So that's all there. Great layout, nice and quick. Just no complaints on that behalf. You do have access to your phone. In this case, it's just connected to my iPad just for some royalty-free music that I have on there, so you can take a listen. So let's check it out. Again, this is not a song that's mainstream, just because YouTube does not allow that. But I'll get you a decent little indication of the radio inside of this Durango. And again, like, it's not exact, right? And in person it's going to sound a lot better, but it'll give you an idea of some of the acoustics as far as the highs and a little bit of the lows. You can hear a little bass in the audio. So let's take a listen. All right, and as far as media inputs, you have your Bluetooth aux, USB 1 and 2, and looks like that's it. So there's no longer a media card reader as an option inside of this vehicle. Sirius XM, favorites across the top. You can actually slide through these, poke through them here. A nice layout. You can actually get your map here as a option. So overall, good layout, nice screen. One critique I do have though on this system is, you know, nice screen, 1080p screen like this. And just the backup camera is not quite as clear as I'd like to see. You know, it looks fine in the video here, but I can tell you we've got a 19 RAM personally, and the backup camera on that is full 1080p as well. So just one thing I'd like them to see is just an upgrade on this. It's just, it doesn't have the clarity that I'd like to see in a 19 vehicle. But really, that's my only critique here on this infotainment system. Now looking down at your HVAC controls here, you can see all your basic HVAC items. I won't walk you through those, but you do have park sense, a button to turn off your park sense for the front and rear. You can turn off eco mode and then kick on sport mode, as well as turn off stability control. You can see kicking on sport obviously turns off of eco mode, and it says sport mode is on within the cluster. And it really just changes your shift patterns, you know, how, you know, quick the throttle response is, how far it shifts down through that 8-speed ZF transmission, and really just the driving dynamics of the vehicle. This does have a sport tune suspension in the RT, and I'll have to say, honestly, through the driving that I've had, it really doesn't have a lot of body roll. It does really good handling its weight. There's two USB inputs there, 12-volt outlet. You do have the standard pretty much shifter for the ZF 8-speed. They used to have a dial here, and they got rid of that, and I think overall this is a much better feel. The dial felt kind of chintzy, I guess, for a vehicle with this particular V8, and it just, I mean, it worked, it was fine. It just, with all the space here, it seemed like, okay, you've got a dial and you have a huge swath of plastic. Why did we get rid of the gear shifter? So just something to consider. You have an illuminated ring here, same chrome accent here. It's not chrome, it's whatever I called it earlier here, but we're going to call it my satin chrome. It's going to be my trademark color for it. And you have your all-wheel drive auto and low range. Looking over to this side, you can see glove box. You do have a new red outer cover for your owner's manual, so nice to see that. It used to be black. And looking at the visors, you can see you do have incandescent lighting, and it actually is incandescent here. So as far as a second critique of the inside, I'd really like that to be LED. A lot of the market's moving towards that. You have your power sunroof that I'm not opening today, and a power rear gate, and these are your controls to your kind of your direct lighting down to your seat. This is more of a floodlight for everything, and these are your home link controls. So overall, nice layout. You have your sunglasses holder here, and it is padded, so your expensive Ray-Bans or whatever you're using aren't going to be scratched up. And that is about it as far as the interior goes here. Looking at the center console, you do actually have kind of 2 buttons as a layer to access the tiered system. So you push the top one, you get access to this. You do have a spot for Kleenexes there, and that's about it. And then you hold this second one, and you can see the rest of the storage with a 12-volt outlet in the bottom. And just little things to consider, right? You put your phone charger in there. Now your phone's out here sitting, you know, in this cup holder on the seat or wherever you keep your phone. They do cut a little cutout here for your cord to go through, and you can still close the top. I've been in vehicles where they just didn't think of that, and now you've got your center armrest that can't close because you've got a cord stuck going through it. So just, again, something to consider, a good design thought on FCA's behalf, and just a good idea. Looking at the steering wheel here, you can see you get nice bolsterings at the 10 and 2. Nice spot to cup your hand here, your thumb, and then you do have metal paddle shifters. These are actually cold when you get in, so another thing to consider. But they feel great, nice good feel to them. You know, this is just down, this is just up. It's not the kind of chintzy deal when you had to push and back to, you know, do front and, you know, shift down, shift up. They actually are doing the purposes they have. They are attached to the steering wheel. Again, expected in this price point. They're not going to do a column mounted paddle shifter. Bluetooth controls, voice recognition, navigating your menu system, cruise control on, set, up and down speed, resume speed, cancel, and this is where your adaptive cruise control would be had it been optioned. Only spot I'm seeing in here too is this is chrome, and then these are that tungsten color, so just one clash there. But beyond that, I mean, this is really just 3 critiques. This color not lining up, the reverse camera, and the incandescent lighting. You can change the lighting out yourself. This, just get past it, and the backup camera, you can still use it. It's just maybe not as clear as I like. Beyond that, everything has got nice, good feel to it. You can get leather stitch dash on this, and then with the RTs, you can actually get a higher quality leather interior, and if that's what you choose, I mean, these feel just fine to me, but, you know, to each their own. But beyond that, that's my only critiques on this interior. It feels good, feels ergonomically correct. And now sitting in the back seat here, you can see I put the driver's seat forward a bit. I still have a ton of leg room, so even if I was a taller guy, gal, I could definitely sit back here. You got little grocery bag holders here. You put your, you know, your plastic straps around this, holds your groceries there. Rear seat passengers do have USB inputs, a 115 volt, 150 watt outlet, heated seats. And then you do have a little spot here for your drinks and whether electronics they want to sit here. I did like that they placed a nice solid plastic bit here for your kids to kind of walk through, step on, to then get to the rear, to get to the rear seats. I did sit back there. Again, I'm 5'9", and I had good room, good headroom. You do have speakers right there in the corner, and just overall a good place to be. I honestly wouldn't have any trouble sitting back there in a long road trip, and I'm sure I wouldn't get sick because the vehicle really doesn't have a lot of body roll and sway. It's just a nice planted vehicle. And you do, the captain's chairs obviously do have the armrest on both sides. So really, if I was riding in here, I would not have a problem sitting back here. Can't say I'd be too worried about calling shotgun. So, all right. A couple more things to show you on the screen here, and then we're going to go ahead and proceed forward to the driving review. So just a couple things I wanted to show you on here. I forgot to go through when I was first up here. You can always, even going down the road, you can kick on your backup camera without being in reverse. So if you're towing, it's a great thing. You can check your what's going on behind you. You can see if, you know, how close is that car tailgating you. You can actually see right here, you can see the plate, and you can see your hitch if it were here. And these lines do move with the steering wheel. So just not a bad idea. I really like how they laid that out, and just a great idea. And then the controls here, if you have a child that's, you know, being a pain in the rear, just actually have power folding headrests. So if we take a look in the back, if I click that, you can butt them right in the head. So Nice little idea. And obviously that's not the intention. It's so if you're looking through the rear mirror, you can actually get a better view without those headrests being in the way. But I like to think that they did that for misbehaving children. All right, let's take a look at the hatch and proceed forward. And finally, you can see they do have an extra large step here for kids getting to the back. So as an adult, right, you just spent all this money on this Durango, you want to take care of it. They're helping you out here. You've got little spots for them to step. You're not just going to have the stained carpet that every tanned vehicle or tan carpeted vehicle ever had. Why they ever put that in Suburbans, I have no idea, right? Tan carpet in a family SUV. Kids don't care that it's tan or black. They're still going to spill their chocolate, whatever it is, on it. So, I mean, just something to consider. I don't have kids, and I guess it sounds that way too, but I know if I had kids, I'd be happy to see these little bits just to help protect the inside of the car. And as a backseat passenger, I do like to see that there are vents here in the ceiling just to help me, stay warm and things like that. I'm not just stuck to vents here in the front to get to the back. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up my video review of this Durango. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments section below, and I will be happy to answer them for you. If you guys are interested in that point of view drive, I decided to make it its own video, so just check the description box below for that. And as always, stay tuned, subscribe if you're interested in these vehicles. I got quite a few coming your way, and as always, make it a great day. Take care. All right, guys, now let's take a look at the all-important window sticker on this 2019 RT Blacktop all-wheel drive. Now the base price rang in at $46,595. It is in a white knuckle exterior paint, black interior with a 5.7 liter V8. And you can see it's got the 8-speed automatic transmission there. You don't have any other options, so that's what you're going to get. And there were also about $7,000 in options. So you do have the luxury leather seats in this particular Durango. You have the blacktop package, trailer tow group, cargo group, second row tumble seats, power sunroof, and blind spot and cross path detection. Now, FCA did offer a sun and seat discount of $850 for that total price of $53,505. You do get a 5-year, 60,000-mile powertrain warranty. They quit doing the 5-year, 100,000-mile back in 2015. So if you had a 2015, you got it. In 2016, you didn't. And you get a 3-year, 36,000-mile basic limited warranty. Now, I don't have any crash test ratings on this one just yet. The rollover did come in at 3, and fuel economy stands at 14 city, 22 highway, 17 combined. If you guys have any questions, lay them out in the comments section, and take care.